Ellen McCauley of Pray It Off. And you know, we all have these barriers to weight loss, and I've talked about barriers. But the reason I want to talk about them again is because we need to maybe talk about them all the stinking time. Because you could say, like last night, it was funny. I had to work till 9:30 last night, and I'm giving a presentation for a group of people. And before the presentation, we're talking, so I said to the guy, oh, well, who was your last guest speaker? Sometimes, you know, making small talk. He goes, oh, we had a really good guy in here. He's talking about UFOs and UFO abductions. And I'm like, oh, okay. And how about, you know, before that person? Well, we had a guy who was like a Ghostbuster. He goes into people's, I said to myself, I'm going to be talking about adult and long-term care. I'm competing with someone doing a UFO and a Ghostbuster. So anyway, I just think that's funny. But my point was, I got home so late and I was so tired. And I'm like, oh, maybe I'll just have. They had really nice donuts and pastry there. And they're like, take one, take one, take one. And I'm looking at them, and Bob's like, step away from the donuts. Bob went with me. He's like shoving me out the door away from the donuts. But I was this close because it looked so good. And didn't I deserve it? Don't we do that? I work so hard. I'm going through a tough time. My mom's sick, my dad's sick, my kid's sick. What about this? Give me a cookie! Now. I want it now. So we have these barriers. And if a certain barrier doesn't strike you, well, maybe another one will. And some of the barriers we have is, I'll be happy when this happens. I'll be happy when I retire. Or I'll be happy when I get a little more money. Or I'll do this when this happens. There's nothing but right now. There's only this. There's only now. And we need to be happy right stinking now. Because we can fear all sorts of things. Fear of change. We talked about that last week. I'm a little nervous about retirement, but I'm excited about it too. Is it a big change? Yes. Also, you know, there's so many people who have all these dreams about, you know, doing gardening or artwork, and they finally retire and they don't do the gardening. They don't do the artwork. Then they think they're too stinking old. But you don't have to get a flower box. You don't have to be out there digging a patch with a rototiller. You can do certain kinds of gardening. Also, some people are afraid of change because it means they have to admit they're wrong. If you go to a weight loss group, it means you think you need to lose weight, right? Yes. So some people don't want to join because it automatically means they might be fat. So I'm not going to join the weight loss group, because I don't want anyone to think I'm fat. What? We think it anyway, whether you're in the group or not. All we have to do is look at you. Yes, you deserve to be in this group. You're welcome. You're going to be fat whether you're in the group or not. So we might have to admit we're wrong. We might have to admit we're fat. Also, I love this. We're all on amazing journeys of growth and self-discovery, and we're different people literally every single day of our lives. Think about the foods you liked best when you were 5 years old. Chances are those aren't the same foods you love the most now, unless you're in Pray It Off, because they are the same foods you love the most now. Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, hot dogs, pizza. You know, my mother used to look at Vince's plate and she'd say, is that all that kid eats is ham and hot dogs? That's all he likes, ham, hot dogs, and Sunny Delight. We never thought now when I grew up, I had a lot of anxiety because my father, God rest his soul, would say, you're not getting up from the table till you're eating everything on your plate. And I eat some stuff like peas and carrots, and I'd be I never wanted to do that to my own children. And so I let them have hot dogs and ham as long as they wanted to. And now he even eats salad every once in a while, so you can grow. But there's many in this group that are still eating like you're 5 years old. And I don't want to tell you this, but you're not fun. And then there's the feeling you need to adjust yourself to meet others' expectations of you. This happens to me a lot. I have a reputation, and I don't know how I ever got it, to being life of the party. So I will go to a party, and maybe I just want to kind of hang back and just kind of relax a little bit. People are like, are you okay? Is everything all right? How about singing us a song? And I'm like, you know. So sometimes you have to adjust yourself to people saying, I'm just going to kind of hang back. Or losing weight when you're in a chunky family. Some people in your family will find that threatening and say, you know what? I just want to be healthy. I just love life and I want to live life. Also, self-criticism and negative self-talk. I grew up always waiting for the other shoe to drop. If the phone rang at 1 o'clock in the morning, it was never someone saying you won the lottery. It was always the worst possible news. So you have to live your life and get rid of a lot of that negative mental chatter. And I know this one, not knowing when to begin. I think the most brilliant ad campaign that ever was Nike's Just Do It. Just do it. Sometimes I've had a daunting task and I'm like, well, I better start. And then I'm done. I'm like, what? I thought that was going to take me forever. And I'm done. Just start. Just do it. Also, not taking responsibility. Hate to say it, but there's a couple people in this group that don't take personal responsibility. They're like, I had a bad week. It wasn't my fault. Everybody came over. They brought pizza. It wasn't my fault. And I said, oh, okay. But the thing is, you have to take personal power. And final thoughts on this, make some clear goals, identify the barriers to your personal growth you're faced with, then decide what baby steps you're going to take, baby steps. All these little steps will accumulate and push you forward until 3 years later, you're like Darlene and you've lost the last 10 pounds. You're becoming the person you dream of being. Going to stop right there, Bobby.